That was the wrong intro.
Happens.
Yeah, well, I had that. That was the one that I made for today, and then when I realized that this was number 44, I made a different one, and I put it on the laptop out here. Forgot to upload it to the EV Mux, and as soon as I hit the clicked start, I realized it was the wrong one. That's why you kind of hear me groan. I don't know. So I
I did
realized
not catch it.
it's the wrong one. Since it was 44, I made one that was, they were all, everybody had 44 revolvers.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can share a couple, but people have to give them back when we're done.
Oh, now. Oh. Yeah. So, well, I guess I'll play that one at some other point. But shoot. So now it's all messed up because the thumbnail goes with the other one and then doesn't go with this video. Oh, well. Shit happens. All right, let me get the banner going because I just thought of it. At the bottom of the screen is an email address on technofuss@gmail.com. You can send in comments, suggestions, or pictures within reason. And there's a link for the Discord server, place to hang out. You can also share pictures. You get a hold of me there. You can get a hold of Barbecue there. Pretty much anybody that comes on the chat, you can get a hold through the Discord.
Good luck getting a hold of me there. I mean, you can, but somebody will have to let me know that you're trying to get a hold of me there, because I do not actually peruse the Discords.
Well, now they're not going to even try.
Well, they just had to put a note, be like, somebody let Barbecue know. And at that point, I'll be like, okay, I'll go check this out.
Well, so in Delaware, a judge ruled that you cannot ban 18 to 20-year-olds from purchasing firearms. Was it fire or was it carry? Which one was it? Purchase.
I believe it's purchasing.
Yeah. So that's good news.
It is. Another Third Circuit decision there. Not Third Circuit, because I mean it's just out of Delaware right now. But if they try and push it, it could eventually become Third Circuit, and Delaware being one of the not friendly firearm states in the Third Circuit. Third Circuit consisting of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Virgin Islands. How the hell the Virgin Islands get lumped in there, I don't know. But yeah.
So that's good news. And there's saw a story about California, the Contra Costa County. Yeah, I guess in California, each county can determine the rules for concealed carry. And in
That's a nightmare.
Yeah, in Contra Costa County, I think that's the name of it. The sheriff has determined you cannot have a laser, flashlight. Not sure about the optic, like a red dot, but you can't have a laser or a flashlight on your carry gun because you have to basically register what gun you're going to carry. And part
Okay.
of you can't have that, and you cannot have a single action pistol.
Why?
That means both revolvers and 1911s if it's single action only.
Does it go on to explain any of this, or is just say no?
I don't believe they explain it. I think it just says no. I think when I was kind of poking around a little bit ago, I think they've been doing that for at least since 2020 or 2022, something like that. Because I was seeing people talking about that, and I think it's just kind of gone more nationwide. People are hearing about it, but that's pretty ridiculous.
A little bit. By a little bit, I mean a lot.
And was it you that was talking about the roster? California
Negative.
roster, or was it? Oh, somebody was. But one thing I've been wondering. I think you guys might have talked about the roster a little bit, but with the California roster.
Oh, it was on Gary's show that we talked about it.
Okay. One thing I don't understand why they haven't. If you can buy off roster pistols that aren't on the roster, so LEOs can bring in non-roster firearms, and then you can buy those from them used. How is that not a way to attack the roster in the court? Because that's the gun that the state said you're not allowed to have because it's whatever reason that's not safe, but they're allowing it to be sold in the state anyways, just because it's gone through a cop's hands.
Well, that's the thing. Once it's gone through the cop's hands, the cop has trained the gun to not be dangerous anymore. So, with that special training that the gun has received from the officer, it's able to be handled by anybody now, and that's why it can be sold to anybody.
Yeah, but I don't know if anybody has ever brought that up, but I haven't heard about anybody bringing that point up.
Yeah, I can't say that I've heard that argument yet. I like it.
But let me go back and say hello to everybody. DJ was out there first. DJ Play Nice.
What? He's supposed to be
Yeah.
watching a show about crackheads.
Well, he jumped out already. Sergeant Joe Smith. Vulcan Rumble is here. X Adam 1. Mr. Bob Davalina.
Bobolina.
Ozzy Osbourne, barking at the moon.
Meow.
Garage Guy. Once again, thank you, Garage Guy. He sent me a couple of his channel logo stickers and magnets. Magnets went on the safe. And the stickers.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I don't know if I'm going to hang on to the stickers or I might give them out with giveaways in the future.
I just thought of something awesome that we should do at Thunder on the Prairie.
What's that?
Should do headshots of you. Then when I get back home, I'll print them off, mail them to you. Then you send out autographed headshots when you do giveaways.
No.
I don't know. I feel like that'd be pretty epic.
TJ50. It's out there. G'day from down under there. And I think that's everybody that said something. Yeah, I picked up a few patches for future giveaways, which I left them in the house. One of them says Gen X, raised on hose water and neglect. The other one is a possum in a burning dumpster. And it says the horrors persist, but so do I. I really like that one.
I like that.
And then I don't know if I'll give away that Bucky one that I bought in the after chat the other day. I'm
I
still
don't blame
waiting
you.
for it to show up. And I'm thinking there was maybe an. Sorry, there was an ad. No, shut up. One of the tabs I had open, an ad popped up. Thinking there was another patch, but I don't remember what it was. I'd have to. I don't know if I have it or I'm waiting for it. But Roy Munson's out there. Roy E. Munson.
Nice. I'm just gonna say, still never see him in the same place as Kingpin.
Hope Kingpin's doing good. It's been a long time since I've heard anything from him. I miss him. I like him. I like
Okay.
Kingpin a lot. He's
a
a
good dude.
genuine guy. Garage Guy said just got back from Blacksburg. Virginia Tech lost to Vanderbilt. Look for the coach to be fired tomorrow. Took me a second. VT. Oh, Virginia Tech. Just kind of going back up. Sergeant Joe Smith said in Arkansas, you can carry whatever the fuck you want openly with no permit. I approved it.
Like it. They put the AR in Kansas.
You can in Washington too. It's about to get stricter, but right now you can open carry without a license, and there's no restriction on what you carry.
I hear in Arkansas they also put the in bread.
Vulcan Rumble saying Clint Morgan needs help setting up polls on his channel. I don't know who Clint Morgan is.
Oh, is he a trainer? Podcaster? Does both, doesn't he? I can't remember.
I don't know.
If not, he's one of the two.
The name does not ring a bell. Sergeant Joe Smith said Krabby Turtle hung out with Kingpin on Labor Day, so Kingpin is still out there and kicking. It's good.
Yeah, those Maryland folk kind of stick together.
I figured he had just tired of the YouTube thing. He was kind of leaning that way in the past couple of years. Pinned to the top of the chat is a link for this week's poll, which we will look at here in a little bit. If you have not voted, head over there and vote. Vote now.
Do it now. Oh, do you got a banner scrolling?
Yes, I did have the banner going.
Excellent.
And I'll go ahead and mention, pinned in the description is a link for Sharon Hinchcliffe's Give Send Go. She was dealing with the cancers and trying to raise money because her insurance wasn't covering most of it. I think I was looking at it earlier, about halfway to her goal. So I don't know if you got a couple bucks, maybe help her out, throw them her way. Oh, was there any other 2A related stuff going on?
Oh, well, Department of Justice is supposed to be sending an attorney to the Seventh Circuit to speak on behalf of the Second Amendment and the litigants in the case there for the assault weapons ban slash magazine restrictions and all the BS that Illinois is pulling. So there's that going on. There's the New Jersey assault weapons thing coming up here soon. Well, about a month, where the Third Circuit said, hey, we're just going to take this en banc because we don't like the ruling that the Third Circuit, or that the 3-judge panel is probably going to give out here. So we're just going to hear this. I thought that's pretty interesting. So that's going to be coming up here soon.
I think that's the one where the three judge panel was made up of less sympathetic to Second Amendment judges, supposedly.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was going to go en banc without requesting it meant that it would probably overturn, because the whatever their judgment was going to be gets disseminated to the other judges, and they looked at it and decided to go en banc. So they're probably going to overturn whatever that 3-judge was going to do.
And the interesting thing is the makeup of the Third Circuit right now for all the judges is split 50-50 between judges appointed by Republican presidents and judges appointed by Democratic presidents. So it's 6-6. So if they would have split this vote, they would not be going en banc right now. The decision would have just come out and been whatever it was going to be, which means one of those judges appointed by a Democratic president said, nope, we're going to all hear this.
And if they do overturn the semi-auto rifle ban, it potentially sets up a ripple where there is now a split between different circuit courts.
Yes. Which is well needed.
Which puts pressure on the Supreme Court to hear the semi-auto rifle ban case to square up the difference, because that's their job, is to make sure everybody's playing by the same rules.
Well, it's their job, but whether they do that or not is two different stories, unfortunately. Hey, look at how long it took them to take up a bump stock case.
Yes, the wheels of justice turn slowly, which in the long run is a good thing. That way it's not a reaction to an instant reaction to whatever the flavor of the day is. So it's hopefully a well-considered, metered decision.
A wise man once said, I want gridlock. I like gridlock. You don't need new laws or anything like that. Just let them sit there argue amongst themselves, don't pass anything, don't care. Now,
Yeah.
not so much for the courts. Like the courts, like when there's unconstitutional shit happening, they need to work on that, get it fixed. But Congress, Senate, I like gridlock.
Sergeant Joseph Smith brought up Arkansas now requires schools to do annual gun safety classes starting around second grade. And Mr. Bob said Tennessee just passed a law requiring gun safety training in all schools K through 12.
I don't like it.
I've been sitting here thinking about it. I'm okay with it. I'm just wondering how it's going to be presented.
That's why I don't like it. Actually, well, I don't remember Slider coming home last year and ever saying, hey, they went over gun safety in kindergarten. However, I have a sister who's significantly younger than me. So I'm like, when I was like 20, she was in kindergarten, and I remember her coming home, and she was deathly afraid of guns all of a sudden, and I don't remember what was going. I think it might have been deer season or something even, and we were just getting them out, cleaning some stuff up, blah blah blah, and my sister just starts breaking down, having a panic attack, bawling, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna die," and we're like, "What the crap?" And we learned about it at school, and I'm like, "What the frick?" Then both my daughters, when they were in kindergarten, completely different school, completely different classes, etc. Again, they had the whatever gun safety crap they were teaching then. And my daughters come home and they're like, "Oh, you're not supposed to touch those." And I'm like, "No, like you're not gonna tell me what I'm gonna do in the house. And if I say you can touch this, you can touch it." And I was like, we've been going over this for years now. I was like, I don't care what the hell they tell you. I was like, that's great that they're going over this stuff, but again, that like they had this idea that these were just terrible death machines, and I was like, I just the three experiences that I can speak of, gun safety education at a young age in a school setting has not been good.
Uh, yeah, that would have been my biggest concern. I don't. Maybe if they add live fire training. You all right there?
I've taken a drink. Oh god, that hurt. You made me laugh while I was going to swallow my drink, and I kind of inhaled it. Oh, that hurts.
Roy said public schools suck. Well, why don't we take a look at the poll?
Sorry, I'll try and die quietly.
There's the poll. And there we go. The question was, do you hold grudges? No, life is too short. Or yes, if you've wronged me, you don't deserve forgiveness. 58% said no. 42% said yes. So pretty close. Wasn't sure how that one would shake out. And let me refresh. Make sure we got any new comments. Okay. Boomstick said, yes, I have a 2-car grudge. Russell Smith said, only, I don't know, UMGI would ask such a stupid question. I don't know what UMG is.
I'm not sure.
We Langslide, no, but if someone has done the dirty on me, I make sure they're not in a position to do it again.
Ooh.
To a chef and barbecue for life. If someone will do it once, it's who they are, and I don't need those types in my life. Time Warp 2000, only one. All others wash off me like the rain, but one person I do not forgive. Ron Wayne. We're not on this earth that long to sow seeds of hate. With that said, if I'm wronged, I know better how to deal with that person next time. John Parker, I forgive, but I never give them the chance again. Life is too short to live with idiots. I am me. For a little while, then I forgive, but I'll never forget what they did. Cameron, F8M, if you wrong me, you deserve to die. A little bit harsh.
I like it.
They also said, I have not wronged a single person ever in my life, so I'm validated to fucking enforce my beliefs on you, which is two wrongs don't make a right. But if they make us even, unless you're dead, then it makes me right because you will never make me wrong because you are dead. So that's one sentence. It goes on for a little bit.
I feel like that's a run. I feel like that sentence is wronged.
Thomas Hall, I used to live the philosophy, if you don't want it done to you, don't do it to me, because when I finished, you left one of two ways: ambulance or body bag. No, let's talk, or just kidding. Crazy Chase, yes, but only if they are aware of it and double down. Still show no remorse when they know they've wronged you. Michael Schlink, resentfulness is worst form of anger. It will kill. Sergeant Joe Smith, forever or until they are dead or house torn apart by a tornado, which has been the case. Guns and barbecue. I have a memory like an elephant and the stubbornness of a mule. I don't always hold a grudge, but when I do, you are my mortal enemy. You are either with me or against me. Unscrupulous rapscallion, Mr. Bob. I like to have both hands free. It makes reloading faster. Not sure how that applies, but thank you.
I should add, to wrong me, like, it's got to be a pretty serious offense. It's like, oh, you stepped on my shoe, like, okay, I'll let that slide.
I don't, in general, hold grudges. The exception and it's come out. It's come out in the past. Oklahoma City can go fuck themselves.
No love in Oklahoma.
You that one, it, I don't mean it to, but that has to do with the Seattle Supersonics. It slips out every now and again when we're, if I'm in a conversation about the Sonics. There was one time my son was in, it was like Pee Wee basketball, but it was, forget what they call it. Basically, the score doesn't really matter. They're just learning how to play the game.
Yep.
Age. And sitting with the coach, we're at some restaurant, all the kids went to the restaurant afterwards, and Sonics came up, and it just all came out as we're sitting there. I started ranting about losing the Sonics, and
at least Oklahoma City has a bunch of championships.
yeah. They don't. They bought the trophy. They didn't have anything of their own. They are not. Oklahoma City does not have a basketball history. It is not their history. And they used to also I pretty much now the whole Pittsburgh Seahawks Super Bowl thing. I will play it up just as a gag. So when Rich is talking about Pittsburgh, then I'll make some snide comment. But I'm not upset about it anymore. It pretty much there was a game where Pittsburgh got screwed hard by the refs, and it's like, all right, they got theirs, and I'm over it now.
It happens to them a lot.
Yeah, no one cares. But
I wasn't gonna Rich White and like go into a half hour description of all the times.
But other than that, just in general, I don't really hold grudges against people. If you did something shitty, I just won't talk to you. I won't have anything to do with you.
That's pretty much the extent for me. Like if you cross me to a point where like I'm holding a grudge, you're pretty much just written off in my life. Like don't catch on fire in front of me. I'm not going to take the time to piss on you. Like you might as well just be dead. You don't exist to me anymore. Don't speak to those people. I don't acknowledge them. Just done.
And if somebody changes, that's fine. Nobody has to tell me they're sorry about something as long as their behavior has changed. I don't need and I'm sorry. As long, if you fix the problem, that takes care of the problem.
See, you're better than me, because once I get to that point where like I'm not speaking to that person anymore, and it's not like, oh hey, we're just angry, not speaking. Like if I get to a point where I'm like not speaking to you ever again, like you have wronged me to that point, like got half a dozen at least, maybe 7 or 8 people that I will never speak to ever again.
Oh, I don't
care what they do.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't really hold grudges, and there are things I hate, but I try not to have hate, because it doesn't do you any good, and it doesn't allow you to progress. There's It's amazing how many people just with YouTube that they'll hate a channel, hate a person for whatever reason, but they keep showing up just to complain. Why waste your time? You're stuck hating that person, and I don't want to be stuck hating somebody. I can not like you, but I just don't have that deep down rage. If I don't like you, I'm just not going to deal with you.
Exactly. Like I said, like for me, that's why, like I said, there's 6, maybe 7 or 8 people, and some of them are family members. And like if I happen to cross paths with them, I will purposely turn my head the other way, like no interest in any acknowledgement. And people are like, "How can you do that?" I'm like, because my life has not changed for the worse in any way. My life's been perfectly fine since then. It is out of sight, out of mind, perfectly fine.
I do have, a family member which I don't talk to, but I kind of feel sad that because we used to, when we were young, we were really close, and then she kind of, drifted off to the wild side and only cared about herself. But, I does make me sad that we aren't as close as we were, but I had to make a choice where, I've got a family now that I don't need another kid, that's older than me to try and take care of. She can take care of herself.
Right.
Sergeant Joe Smith is asking, where's Chicken Guy out? He's out. I'm not sure if he's still down in Texas, but he went to see some family members.
I don't think he'll be back until sometime Monday, because he's not even sure if he's having a show on Monday, because it depends on when he gets back.
Yeah, so I guess that I'll close that. A question I have that I was thinking about this week, which I should have, wish I had put this as a poll question, but I had already made put the poll up before I thought of this question. Get out of there. If a law is overturned, should somebody who is sentenced for whatever that law, for breaking that law, should they continue to be in jail or in prison or whatever? Should their sentence be commuted? Should they be pardoned? Or should they, they committed the crime when it was a crime? Should they remain in jail?
So this is a thing that I've wondered about in the past as well, and it's not a clear-cut answer. Because one, I asked myself, was the law overturned because it was unconstitutional? In that case, the answer is always yes immediately. Then after that, if the law wasn't overturned because it was unconstitutional, just because whatever reason, societal reasons dictated, like, hey, this doesn't need to be illegal anymore or whatever. So was the law malice per se or malice prohibitum? So, Was it illegal because it harmed people, or illegal because it was just the government said so? And if it's just because the government said so, that makes me lean towards yes a lot more as well. But at the same time, you do have to kind of go, okay, you knew it was illegal, but you still did it anyways. Why?
I don't know. I've thought about this in the past because it comes up when I first started thinking about it when marijuana was starting to be legalized in different states. Woo. I don't know if you can hear that.
Getting a storm?
Yeah, and the thunder
I
roll.
am jealous.
I heard it a little bit earlier, but that one was a little closer.
3:30 in the morning, not a toad in sight.
That's the one song by him I like. And then lately with what Trump was saying about marijuana and gun ownership, kind of brought that back. It brought it back to mind. And I lean towards now that if the law is overturned, whether it's found unconstitutional or it's the state or whatever itself takes it off the books. I think it should be, if at least a commuted sentence. And I can kind of understand you broke the law when it was the law. I understand that argument, but if it is not now, if people now will not be jailed for that crime, that if people that were jailed previously, there should be somehow, whether it's pardon or commutation of the sentence. I think. Ozzy said pardoned. Sergeant Joe Smith said usually they get released in thought. The goddamn bacon's out there. I think Foss has a grudge against me since he didn't wait for me to go over the poll. Vulcan Rumble said pardoned. Mr. Bob said the topic raises the question of the purpose of prison. Is it to punish or teach prisoners to live within societal norms? If the latter, then pardon is in order. The goddamn bacon said sounds like the inverse question of future felons of America. I don't think that will would be adopted to change the sentence. If the law changes, then to address somebody who was in prison, just because the time and the effort and the money required to do it, because prisons have become a money-making scheme. Mr. Bob said, if prison is to punish, then no pardon. If you broke the rule at the time, you were incarcerated. Mike McClune's out there. Good evening.
I still struggle to see how prisons are a money making scheme unless they're being subsidized by the federal government. Because when I worked corrections, and this was 13 years ago now, just at the county level, and I specify that because at state level you're getting better benefits, better pay. Federal level, again, better benefits, better pay. Also, they're housing more inmates. Also means they're going to have more staff, etc. at each level. So, with that, the average inmate for us cost us $58 per day to house. We house on average about 230 inmates. So if you do the math on that, just bump it down to $50 and do it at 300 days a year. It's like $15,000 a year. And then you do that for 230 inmates. It's a chunk of change.
Mike McLuhan said maybe prisons that are private managed and operated. That is a thing where
they are.
There was a study done where with private prisons, there were more infractions given out, which lengthened the sentences for inmates.
But that's where I'm referring to government subsidy.
And it's stuff I've thought about in the past, but I have not done a lot of research into it.
Because, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think there needs to be reform, but I don't know what that reform needs to be. Something needs to change, but I don't know how to change it or what needs to be changed. Is kind of as Mr. Bob brought up the two sides. Are we just warehousing people for a certain amount of time and then kicking them back out, or is it to try and rehabilitate? Is that possible to rehabilitate? I had a friend who he did 5 years in prison, learned a skill, learned to be a barber, got out, became a barber, had his own business, and I haven't talked to him in a while, so I'm not sure what he's doing now. But so he was still rough around the edges, but he did learn a skill that allowed him to stay out of trouble for the most part.
And say, is rehabilitation possible? Absolutely. Are most prisons designed for that now? No. When you look back to the earlier part of the century, inmates, when they would go to prison, they actually had access to educational services. And I don't mean like, oh, you can get your GED. I'm talking like, oh, you're in here. We're going to try and get you on the straight and narrow. You could actually get a college education while you're locked up. There was a lot of programs that you could receive while you're locked up, so you could actually better your life when you got out. Now they actually take and go, okay, well, you're a gangbanger, so you got this, and this tattoo. You belong to this gang. We're just gonna house you all together. So now you got all these gangs together, and literally they're going to prison where it's like college for becoming a criminal. Like, okay, I got caught, but now here we are to get better.
Yeah. What do you do? Because if you don't kind of segregate out the different gangs, then there's the potential for more potential for the fighting and disruptions. Or I don't know. I have no experience with prison. Just things I've seen by people who were either prisoners or guards talking about prison.
So there's a big issue, one with guards who just don't care, I guess you could say. They are just there to get a check. And is that the majority of guards? No. But, just like uh, every bad cop that you hear about, is that the majority of cops? No. But for every bad one, it gives the vast majority of officers a black eye. And that's the same thing that happens with COs. And so every time that there's a CO that mistreats an inmate, that creates a lot of issues. That creates a lot of friction between inmates and COs. Then you've got the issue where there's a lot of these places, they're just not really set up to provide a lot of services. Like, yeah, a lot of these guys going in might not have a high school education or something. So, hey, you can get your GED while you're in here or something. When they get to the state level, there's some vocational opportunities, but not a whole lot. There's the argument about fair wages. Oh, hey, we've got these people working inside the penitentiaries, but they're making pennies on the dollar per hour. 50 cents per hour. I don't know what the going rate is now, but I think back 2012ish, inmates were making like 50 cents per hour to do work, and then that was expected to pay restitution or something that they owed. There's a lot. Part of the issue is that, like anything, the people have to want to better themselves. There's another huge issue where some of these people are frequent flyers. They are institutionalized. That's the word I was looking for. Where they can't live out in society, and they purposely commit crimes so they can get locked back up because they like the what's it, the regimen, I guess you could say, of jail. They like the structure of it. Hey, at this time it's wake up call, then you're all down here for breakfast, and then after that it's locked down for this amount of time while cleanup crews out, and then everybody gets their razors to shave your faces or whatever. Then you got 15 minutes to do that, then razors are back, and then you got X amount of hours until lunch is here. Then we have lunch and you're locked back down. Then, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's guys that really like that structure. And when they get back out in the real world, they have no structure and they don't know how to function. So just getting people tools where they can structure themselves will go a long way. There's so many things.
Vulcan Rumble said, prison is to continue the power of a government. When the government falls, all the prisons open their doors. That happened with Katrina. When the flooding started, they just opened the doors, said, "Well, we can't keep you here. You're going to die. So see you later." Mike McClune, my cousin, ended up in county jail a couple times when he got in trouble the last time and ended up in state penitentiary. It was a wake up call.
That'll do it.
Ozzy said, "I'm too pretty for prison. Pass."
Sorry, that made me laugh because when I worked at county, there was a lot of guys locked up that I either went to high school with, or that I played little gritters with, or just any sort of sports with. Actually, when I first got hired and they took my group of hirees for a tour around the jail, they asked the new hires all the time, "So did you see anybody that you knew?" And everybody's like, "Oh yeah." And the last year, like, "Oh, how many?" And a couple guys were like, "Oh, there's like 2, 3." And I said there's like 30 some. They were like, "What?" I was like, "I swear to God, I just know them." I was like, played a lot of sports, went to school with them. I was like, I just know them. I was like, I don't socialize with any of them. But anyways, the one that I played football with, he had this long blonde hair, and for the longest time, he had this scruff. And I came in the one day on second shift, and his scruff was gone. And I was like, Taylor. I changed his name here because, anyways, Taylor. I was like, you need to grow that facial hair back real quick. He's like, what? I was like, because you're about to get passed around. I was like, that long blonde hair, baby face now. I was like, you better be watching your backside. He's like, "Oh, Burger, shut up." I'm just warning you, bud.
Mike McClune also said, "My cousin dealt with substance abuse issues and was convicted of burglary charges for stealing to support his habit. He got himself clean, sober. He's got 2 great children and a supportive wife."
And that's another way that we could really reform, is instead of just throwing people that are on drugs in prison, actually put them in treatment facilities. And I realize that just because you send them to rehab doesn't mean that they're going to get clean. But guess what? Almost every person that you throw in jail, even if it's for 3, 4, 5 years, because they did some drugs, the first thing they do when they get back out is do those drugs.
What kind of the other thing is, when you go to prison and then you get out, you're marked. And a lot of people don't want to deal with you, and that makes it very hard to change who you are, what you're doing. I do fully believe the onus is on them to make the change. They broke the trust of society. It's their job to rebuild it. But when there's no resources to do that, then they're kind of stuck in the same rut.
Yes. I think it should be, for certain jobs, it should be illegal for them to ask, do you have any felonies or anything? Because, like, oh, you're working at a machine shop. What does it matter? Oh, you're going to push a broom, in the friggin' Jiffy Lube. What does it matter?
A couple of years ago, there was a big push here in Washington to get that on the ballot, to remove that. I think it was in the state. Somebody was doing it. I forget what the name. It was to remove that question, and I can't remember the name. They said if it was, remove that box or something like that, to do that, to remove the "were you a felon"?
It can really, no pun intended, it can really handcuff guys.
Sergeant Joe Smith said they should be paying for room and food, so 50 cents an hour profit sounds perfect. The goddamn bacon. One thing I do remember hearing about prison sex is most of it consensual. How much truth is there in that?
None of it's consensual because it can't be consensual in prison. They can say it's consensual, but let's say if you're being extorted, then are you going to say it's consensual? Or are you going to say, oh, this guy's extorting me, so that's why his, wiener's in my butt? Like, no, you'd be like, oh, no, CO, this was completely consensual.
Yeah. One thing that I do not like is I know it's mainly said as a joke, but when people talk about, well, they need to be sent to prison, so basically, so they can be raped or, abused by the prisoners. Well, that's prison should not be used in that way. It just is. I don't know.
I can't. There was a judge or a prosecutor a while back that had made remarks like that, and they come under a lot of fire from the bar, if I remember correctly.
I mean, there are certain crimes where I will not have remorse for them if something happened, but that's, it's a broken system if that's what you're doing. You're using the prisoners to enforce a punishment, rather than just going to prison being the punishment. I didn't expect to talk about prison this long.
Right?
But again, I deep down I feel there needs to be some kind of reform, but I don't know what form that reform needs to be.
Like I said, I think a big one. Well, I think two really big ones. One, stop putting people in jail for things that are for drug crimes. Send them to treatment. And the second is, if it's not a violent crime, there's no reason to throw them in prison. We have these amazing things called ankle monitors. Put them on house arrest. There's people that are on house arrest for multiple years.
What about like for a financial crime, like Bernie Madoff and the pyramid scheme?
Yeah, house arrest. Make it where he cannot leave his front yard. And because Bernie Madoff was, being lucky to get to the mailbox and back, that would absolutely suck. To Bernie Madoff, it's like, okay, I've got people to wait on me hand and foot. Like, what's new here? And yeah, that's an entirely different animal there. With that, I think that would warrant prison time. What about this one? Martha Stewart, just, tax evasion.
What? No, she went to prison for lying, not for tax evasion.
For lying.
Yeah, that's what she got in trouble for.
I thought,
In lying to a federal agent.
really? I thought it was because she just didn't pay her taxes. Son of a gun.
She was being investigated and lied.
Well, even better. Let's say prison time or house arrest.
Well, she kind of got screwed. I'm not a Martha Stewart fan, but she kind of got screwed.
Yeah, I'm gonna say for just lying to a federal agent, like that warrants friggin' federal prison time. I mean, I guess it would depend on the extent of the. Even still,
I don't know. There's something else I was going to bring up, and I just lost the thought.
I was gonna say bracket, but there's only two of us in here.
I do have a bracket ready to go. We could do like I did with Gary, where put a poll so the chat has to participate.
That's the thing. What's the bracket about? Just out of curiosity.
44 Magnum.
Oh, son of a.
Well, not well. 44 caliber.
Hold
not
on.
just Magnum.
Let me send a message. I might be able to get some reinforcements just for this bracket.
Sergeant Joe Smith said Martha was insider trading. And Mr. Bob said Martha is the reason that 2/3 of testimony from federal officials is I don't recall. Well, that's what. Who was it? Shoot, in Trump's first term, I can picture his face, and he's got a huge Nixon tattoo on his back. But he got caught up where testifying in front of Congress, it was something like he made a statement and said he wasn't sure, and then later on made a statement that contradicted that, and then he got in trouble for lying to Congress.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. But even still, that didn't get him friggin' federal prison time.
He went to prison.
Did he?
Yeah.
It's like it's people lie in Congress all the time. They just get held in contempt, and it's just like, okay, whatever. Maybe I don't know who you're talking about then.
Roger Stone. He has a tattoo of Nixon on his back.
What if Nixon was the good president?
I don't know.
Pretty hard to buy into that one.
Saw an interview with Liddy. He was on, was it Firing Line? But basically, the way he was talking, Nixon knew what was going on. Basically, he admitted Nixon knew.
Well, he's a dumbass. Like, he should have known. Whenever they ask questions, you deflect and start talking about something else.
Well, Liddy is more of a straight ahead. I mean, he was one of the plumbers who took care of problems.
Yeah.
He had a radio show for a while, which it was a pretty good show because he's charismatic, and he's got good stories, interesting stories to listen to. Like when he went to prison, there was a shower that was dripping and it was keeping people up. And he mentioned something to a guard and the guard gave him shit about it. So he wrote a letter to Congress, and it bounced around Congress because he knew how to, who to get a letter to and how to word the letter. And in that letter, it talked about how much water was being wasted, and this was during Carter. So he said the guard came to him crying because basically the guard got reamed for wasting money on that dripping shower, which
Nice.
you don't know how much that story is true or it was embellished, but
Yep.
Mr. Bob said Martha Stewart was convicted of conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and making false statements to a federal investigator. She was not convicted of insider trading. Found to have lied about a stock transaction involving ImClone System stock, which she sold just before the value plummeted. So, well, we'll go ahead and do a poll. Not a poll. We'll do the bracket, and I will put out polls in the YouTube chat. So, the live chat will be the third vote. Hopefully, not the third rail. But let me play that.
Let's get it on!
There it is. So for number 44, the Overnight Mouse Party number 44, we'll do 44 caliber firearms.
All right.
Which one is the best? Which one do you like the best? Something like that. But let me show pictures of the guns here. Oh, shit. Hold on.
Forgot to get pictures?
No, somehow I was clicking on the pictures, because then I'll open the batch up and then I can do a slide. But somehow, holy crap.
Uh-oh.
Somehow I triplicated the pictures.
Oh.
So there's 3 of each now.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I just did that. But yeah. So let me open this up, and there might be some pictures in here because I changed it during the pre-chat. So we'll go ahead and go through these, and let me close that so I can open this. We'll get there. So first we've got the Taurus Raging Hunter. I kind of go back and forth whether I want one or not.
I want one just because it's 44 Magnum.
The Ruger Super Blackhawk.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually mine.
Now, are we voting based on these photos?
No, it doesn't have to be this specific, but just kind of the platform. Okay. The Automag. Magnum Research BFR.
Very nice.
Colt Anaconda.
Oh, yes.
Derringer, the Cyclops. They're 44 mag.
I need one of those in my life.
Desert Eagle. I
love it.
I shot one, and I loved it. It's so heavy that it makes it a really soft shooting gun. Korth. Marlin 1894 lever gun.
Mm.
Model 69 Combat Master.
Very nice.
Ruger Red Hawk.
Love my Red Hawk.
A Single Action Army.
Oh.
I don't remember what brand this one, if this was standard manufacturing one, but it's more about Single Action Army.
We'll just call it a Colt.
A Schofield. And some of these, I believe, when they were first came out, they weren't available in 44, but they are now. So I went ahead and allowed them because you can get them now.
Yep.
Model 29.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Ruger Vaquero, which I can't remember if I pulled this one or not. I'll have to wait till I go back to the list. Yeah, no, it's still on the list. So Vaquero is still there.
Excellent.
And I know it's a Single Action Army basically, but they're shaped differently. The frame is a different shape. Yeah, when I see a Vaquero, I know it's a Vaquero.
That, and I don't know 100%, but like the Ruger Blackhawks, they don't stay true to like the Single Action Army design either. Where if you flip open the side gate, you could just spin the cylinder and all that fun jazz. You have to cock the hammer halfway, and I don't remember if you have to do the same thing with the Vaquero. So,
but that's our 16. It should have been 16.
that is the hell of a list, boss.
I did have some other, like a 18 something Navy, but
like it.
But kind of as I went over the list, I shuffled some stuff around and then pulled those off and put some other stuff on because I almost forgot to put a 29 in there. That one needs to be in there.
Yes, that it would be sacrilegious not to. Also, next time I would like to advocate for a mare's leg.
I thought about it. Almost did it, but we've got the one lever gun, and I'm not a mare's leg fan
Really?
personally. Yeah, they don't do it for me.
That's quite all right.
There's
Each their own.
hopefully. So let me go over here and get a poll going. For the first one is the Model 29. That's the Dirty Harry gun.
Mhm.
It's a Schofield.
Ooh.
And I think I spelled that wrong because I think there's an H.
SCHO.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that always trips me up because I always think there's two F's.
So the poll's up. So need the chat to vote for their vote. Which are you going for? The 29 or the Schofield?
Man, this is a hell of a way to kick off the bracket, I got to tell you. There's just something about the way a Schofield looks. It's just, man. But I got to go with the 29. It's classic. Going with the 29.
29. Let me. We'll give it a couple minutes, but the 29 is going to win in the chat. It's 100% so far.
Yeah.
We'll give it a couple more seconds, and I'll close
I
it.
say, I would have. There's some definite options on here that I would have voted for the Schofield over. Schofield, really, really cool revolver, but
yeah. So I'm gonna go 29. So 29's moving on.
Just a terrible draw for it.
Oh, well, we got another kind of tough one. We've got the Korth, a gun which I will never be able to afford. Oops. Let me get the there we go. The Korth versus a Model 69 Combat Master.
So I actually got to put my hands on a Korth, I think 2 years ago. It's cool. Much like you, I'll never be able to afford it. Well, I reckon if I either sold multiple guns, I could, which just grosses me out to think about doing because it's going to take multiples of guns to do. Or a long time of saving or a loan. All those just sound awful. And a Model 69 is actually on my list of 44 mags to get just because I don't have a Model 69 yet. So I'm going to go with that one.
Right now it's tied, but there's only 2 votes. So we need some more votes.
I was trying to buy you some time there.
The Model 69's pulling ahead.
Let's say it's a tough one to not pick. A K/L frame, 5-shot. Let's say something easier to conceal. Still gives you the power of 44 mag. They're pretty kick-ass. Plus, It's the number 69.
So we'll go ahead and end the poll out there. And it went for the 69. Nice. I'm going to vote Korth just because I think they are gorgeous.
They are. They are.
The 69 is attractive, but the Korths are gorgeous. But the 69 is going to move forward. So now we've got the Colt. Oh, I got to keep forgetting I have to go over and do the poll. Colt and Conda. Don't want none if you ain't got buns. And the what's it against? The BFR, the Magnum Research BFR.
Oh. So I kind of feel bad about voting against the BFR because I do really want one of these. However, if I did get one, that probably wouldn't be in 44 mag. I would get it in something ridiculous like 308. You say 45 millimeter?
No, 4570.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say 308, 30-06. Then I was gonna say 4570. Something ridiculous like that. I don't really see the point in getting a BFR in a handgun caliber. That being said, I desperately want an Anaconda. So definitely voting for the Anaconda.
Yeah, the Colts are also kind of out of my price range. They are very attractive, but it's more than when you get above about 800, then it's like it's a lot. Which I understand there are much more expensive guns, but just that's usually my reaction. Oh, so we'll go ahead and end the poll out there. And the Anaconda took the poll. I do not like the looks of the BFR. They are just not attractive to me.
They're really basic.
And
I think they would look better if they had an underlug.
Maybe. I mean, because they kind of look like the Blackhawks, but they're just Blackhawk looks a lot better. Yeah, in my opinion. But now we've got an 1851 Navy. Oh, poll. Make the poll. 1851 Navy versus a Ruger Vaquero. A Vaquero. There, we got the polls up. What do you think?
This isn't even a competition. Vaquero all day.
Vaquero. I do like the look of them, the Vaqueros. The back end, the shape. Right behind the cylinder, that curve right there. That sets them. That's the difference between an army and a single action army and the Vaquero.
Yep. And I mean, the gun's literally named Cowboy.
It's just a little bit of sexy curve to it. That's why I like them. I've looked at them and thought about buying them and then ended up buying something else. That's usually what happens. Ooh. So which one were you voting for? The Vaquero?
Absolutely. Yes. Vaquero.
So we'll give it a couple more seconds because we got a couple more people voting now. So, and the Navy is winning. Well, it's tied up 50-50. So, it's bouncing back and forth. It's a race. We'll give it a couple more seconds.
Well, you voted for the Navy?
What's that?
You voted for the Navy?
Well, let me close the poll out. We had 10 votes. So we had 5 more people voting on this one.
Nice.
And the Vaquero took the chat. I am voting for the Navy, actually.
Wow.
But the Vaquero is going to move on. I mean, I really like the way the Vaqueros look, but the Navy is just kind of the old, even older school cool.
Yes.
But the Vaquero is moving on. Oh, here's an interesting one. We've got the Ruger Blackhawk.
Swear to God, if you say it's going against the Red Hawk, I might short circuit.
No, Automag.
Oh.
Interesting lineup. So the poll's up, so the chat can start voting. What do you think?
This one hurts. Really, really want an Automag. That being said, they are ridiculously priced. And I own 2 Blackhawks and a Blackhawk clone. I've got to go with the Blackhawk.
Oh, I've never seen one in person. I've never seen an Automag in person. From what I've heard, at least the original ones were not that. They look cool, but they don't function well.
Yeah, they're kind of Jam-O-Matics. But nonetheless, it's like there's just some things where I'm like, I gotta have it.
So we'll give it a couple more seconds, but the Blackhawk's going to take it in the chat. It's 80%.
It's kind of like a DeLorean. Like, at the end of the day, like if it's legit, nothing done to it DeLorean, like you're in danger if you're on the interstate. But at the same time, you're like, it's a freaking DeLorean.
There was one growing when I was in grade school. There's one in the neighborhood. Part of the problem was when DeLorean, went to Ireland to make it, and then had to make a bunch of compromises, and then was set up by the government and went to jail for a drug deal. The government went to basically he was entrapped. They went to him and said, buy these drugs. And he's like, well, I need money. Okay. And they took him to prison. So I'm going to go Blackhawk. I have one. I liked it. When I bought mine, I was at Cabela's in the gun library, and I saw it, and I felt the little tingle downstairs.
Mm-hmm. This whole bracket's doing it to me.
I went home and couldn't stop thinking about it, and I went back the next day and bought it.
That is the way to do it. Like, I like going to the gun shop, and if there's a gun where I'm like, man, I really want that, I find it best to sleep on it a day or two. And if you just can't stop thinking about it, then like, I've got to go get that. And if it's still there, then it was meant to be.
So now we've got the Derringer, the Cyclops Derringer, the 44 mag, against a single action army.
Oh.
And the poll's up for the chat. What do you think?
I really, really, really wanted to vote for the Derringer. Then you said single action army. And it's no competition. It's single action army all day, every day.
That is, I've gone a couple times, to buy a single action army, and end up looking at other stuff like always. So I want one in 45 Colts because I don't have.
I do as well.
45 Colts.
I don't even have a single action army.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
I don't either. That's because the two of the guns that I don't have that I want, single action army and lever gun.
And say there's a Taylor's & Co. that I really want. Nickel plated. It's fully engraved though. I think they call it the Gangster, but absolutely gorgeous. Faux ivory grips, and want that thing in the worst way. And the price on it isn't bad either. It's just I always end up buying like a 1911 or another 44 Magnum instead.
Ron Wayne is out there. I just saw him. Say hello. Hello to you. Must have had to go to the bathroom. Oh, so we'll go ahead and end the poll out there. It's 100% for the single action army, which I will also vote. The Derringers are cool. I have a 357 Derringer. And as somebody was kind of asking on a Discord about them, that they are kind of heavy and really awkward. Because when you cock the hammer, it pushes your hand down, so you can't choke up on the grip. They're still kind of cool, but yeah. So now we've got the Marlin, which 18 is it? 1894 lever gun. Gosh darn it. I keep typing it in the chat instead of, God damn it. All right. Hold on. I just typed it in the chat instead of typing it in a poll. Marlin 1894 lever gun or Taurus Raging Bull?
Ooh. Boss, again, I would like to commend you on this bracket. This is such a good bracket.
There we go. So polls up. Go ahead and start voting out there in the chat. So what say you?
The funny thing is, both of these could equally be used to eradicate the deer population if you're having issues with them. The Raging Bull, such a cool 44 mag from Taurus.
I have become smitten with the two-tone.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I say, because then, I mean, you got the Raging Bull and the Raging Hunter. There's not a whole lot of difference between them. I'm a sucker for Marlin, though. So I've got to go with the Marlin.
Marlin. Yeah.
Yep.
I almost bought one.
Yeah.
Um,
Brand new or used?
brand new in 44.
Ooh.
And I ended up buying the second Kimber instead.
I'm gonna say if you would have bought a 44 lever action, pretty sure there's a married woman out there that would have mailed you a pair of panties.
So I ended the poll, and that went for the Marlin. And I'm going to also say Marlin. It is one that I want.
As do I. But man, the prices on the Ruger made Marlins are, I'm just like, good golly.
So now we've got the Ruger Red Hawk against the Desert Eagle.
Oh.
And the poll's up. So which one are you going for?
It's going to feel dirty to say, but I've got to go with the Red Hawk. I absolutely love my Red Hawk. And I love Desert Eagles. They're awesome. But until I actually have one, and when I get one, I want it in 50 AE first. After I finally achieve that goal of getting one and having it in 50 AE, then I will definitely get one in 44 Magnum. But Desert Eagles were meant to be 50 AE. So definitely have to go with the Red Hawk.
The poll is tight. It's 50-50. We need one more vote. There's 10 votes. We need one more vote to break that tie.
Come on, folks. Break one of our hearts.
I've shot the 357 and a 44 Desert Eagle. I've never shot the 50 AE.
Ooh, somebody just sent in Gorn. That was a 44 mag Desert Eagle. Who was it? On Gary's show this past week. I can't remember who it was. But they put some really pretty wood grips on it. Very, very nice.
Yeah, we need one more vote out there because I'm voting Desert Eagle. So
I knew we were going to be split on this one. As soon as you read them off, I was like, oh.
I've never shot a Red Hawk. I'm not a huge fan of their looks.
Well, Red Hawk or Super Red Hawk? Because Super Red Hawk, I agree with you 1,000,000%.
Super Red Hawk, definitely. Anything with the longer barrel just looks stupid.
Well, not all of us can have a giant penis boss.
Well, that's what it looks like. Is they crammed in a tube on the end of the barrel. The Red Hawk is okay. The Desert Eagle is sexy.
Maybe I'll decide to mess around with Amtrak and.
Oh shit!
Uh-oh.
I went to end the poll because the tie was broken, and then just as I was clicking, it tied up again. So,
son of a gun.
So there's 12 votes. It was 11 votes. Red Hawk was going to win it. I went to close the poll. Somebody else voted and tied it back up.
Father Mucker.
Wow, I'm not sure what to do. Yeah. I guess I'll make an executive decision because I was gonna close it out when it was at 11. I'll go ahead and give it to the Red Hawk.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You're allowed to make executive decisions. You can veto and just say, "Oh, there's an eagle."
No, I think that's fair because that I said I was closing the poll, went to close it, and then that other vote came in. So I think I'll have to cut it off and then say the Red Hawk was going to win. So we'll go ahead and push the Ruger through. So now you've got Smith against Smith. 29 versus the 69. 29 against the SW 69. So the poll is up.
This is actually easier than some might think. While the 69 is awesome, and for multiple reasons, and none of it has to do with sexual innuendo. One, like my number was always 69. Two, 69, whether it's right side up or right side down, is still the same number. Three, is there a three? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure there was a three, but I forgot it. It doesn't matter. Because without the Model 29, there would be no Model 329 PD. So naturally, the vote here is the Model 29.
Oh, so you're going 29? And that
Yes, sir.
that includes the 629, so whether it's blue or black
Yep.
or stainless.
That's about the only reason I haven't gotten one of the new Anacondas is they're all stainless. I want one blued.
I do. I love stainless and I prefer stainless. Like a 29, I would prefer the blued.
Yep. I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say stainless is really nice for maintenance, but I really do like the look of stainless as well. But like a 29 or an Anaconda or a Colt Python, man, those guns look so gorgeous blued.
I like the stainless Anaconda.
Yeah,
That's why the picture of the Anaconda was stainless, because that's the one I like. Hopefully I didn't discourage people from voting because there's less votes now
uh-oh.
because of my screw up. We'll give it just a little bit more just in case. But the 29 is leading right now. But yeah, I probably will never own a 29 or a 69.
Why do you think that?
Price.
They have gone up a little bit. Remember a few years ago, I this is one of those times where I kick myself every time I think about it. And now that you mention it, I'm thinking about it. So, damn it. But okay.
I was saying, Mr. Bob said I like my Python with the blue enamel. His Python is goddamn gorgeous.
Yes. But Tamarack Armory.
His Sapphire Python.
Mm-hmm. They had in a 629 with rosewood grips. It was like $849. I don't know why it was so cheap. And it was brand new. And I should have gobbled it up right then, and I didn't.
So I went ahead and ended the poll. The 29 won. And I'm going to go with 29.
Nice. And there's another time they had in a Ruger Blackhawk stainless with an 8-inch barrel, unfluted cylinder. Oh my god, that gun was so gorgeous. They wanted $800 for that. It was used, but man, like I said, it was gorgeous. I just didn't have the money at the time.
That's what mine is. It's stainless, unfluted, 7.5.
Yeah. Oh.
I
I think that's what my Red Hawk is. I think 7.5, something like that. Maybe just a smidge bigger. It's a weird size, like 7.5/8 or some shit.
well, I wanted a big kind of ridiculous gun, and I stumbled across the Black Hawk, and I loved the way it looked, and it was right in front of my face, and that's what I bought. But it's not quite big and ridiculous enough. It's kind of big and kind of ridiculous, but not quite enough. That's where the Desert Eagle comes in. Or what I really want is a Smith & Wesson 500 with the 4-inch barrel.
Yes.
That's what I really want. But, those are like $2,000.
Yeah, that's another one of those ones where I'm like, man, when they were like $1,200, really wish I would have got one of those.
For the goddamn bacon, yes, that's what I said, and I stand by it. So, Ruger Vaquero or Colt Anaconda?
This is a little tough.
M. Gabriel's out there. He said Deagles have no utility value.
Barbecue gun.
So Anaconda or Vaquero?
I'm thinking here, Foz. Like, I'm going through a whole checklist right now. Do I want something that's just big and obnoxious, or do I want something that is slender and kind of sexy that you can do cool cowboy tricks with, like spinning it and cool shit like that? You want something that has good sights on it, or do you want something with gutter sights? Thing is, I actually really like gutter sights.
I don't have a problem with gutter sights.
Yeah, I really enjoy them. Single action or double action? I can't believe I'm going to friggin' say. I'm going to go with a Vaquero.
Vaquero.
Wow. That hurt.
So we'll give it just a little bit more for the chat, but Vaquero's winning in the chat. Ozzy said there's no such thing as barbecue guns, just barbecue holsters. Uh-oh. It's tied. It's tied. So next vote will take it. Let's say the next vote will take it in the chat. So one more vote.
Why is it laundry detergent all of a sudden? Am I allowed to change my vote? I feel dirty voting against the Anaconda.
I'll say, yeah, if you want to change it, since we haven't locked down all the votes yet.
Because there's only one reason I'm changing my vote, and that's because the Anaconda is solely 44 Magnum. And Vaqueros can just be pretty much anything.
So we need one more vote. Just one more. One more vote. We'll give it a little bit. Hopefully we get that one more vote.
Yeah, you guys took too long because I ended up changing my vote.
Oh, there we go. Vaquero.
Whoa.
So the chat has voted Vaquero.
What does Foss vote?
Ah, well, that's interesting because I'm going to go Anaconda.
Oh, crap.
If you hadn't changed your vote, Vaquero would have won. If you weren't a flip-flopper, Vaquero would have won.
I told you that was a tough one for me. And even after making the decision, I felt dirty.
Oh, so now we've got the, not in the chat. Start a poll. There we go. The Ruger Blackhawk against the Single Action Army. And the poll is up for the chat. So which one are you going for?
Really, really love my Blackhawks. But I got to go with the Single Action Army.
Single Action Army. Yeah, I really do need to get a Single Action Army. Although before the chat, I was looking at the K40s, stainless. I saw one years ago at the gun shop, and it felt perfect in my hand. And I didn't have the money for it, and the gun shop doesn't do layaway. And I have not been able to get that out of my mind. Yeah, I was looking at them earlier today.
Yeah.
And at auction sites and whatnot. We'll give the chat just a little bit more, but I think the Army's going to take it. It's at 82%. We'll give it a couple more seconds. So which brand, if you're going to buy one today, which brand of Single Action Army?
Probably Uberti, just because they're making the majority of the Single Action Armies that are being sent out to the other companies that stamp their stuff on them. But if I wanted something that is a little bit more doctored up and, has that stamping, I'd be either probably a Cimarron or Taylor's & Co. and probably end up going with a Taylor's & Co. at that point.
Mr. Bob said Uberti would be second to a real Colt. Can't remember if it was the Uberti or Pieta that I was looking at, that I was really considering getting. Vanessa Kitty's out there.
If I had the option at a real Colt, most definitely, but fiscally speaking, yeah.
Well, I really do like my Blackhawk, but I'm going to go single action Army. So now we've got, whoops, that's the wrong tab. The Marlin 1894 lever gun. Against the Ruger Red Hawk. So the poll is up. Which one are you going for?
So my Red Hawk will actually accept scope rings. I actually have the scope rings for it. Oh, this is tough. .44 mag out of rifles is fun, but 44 mag out of a handgun, the way it was meant to be, is funner. I'm going to have to go with the Red Hawk.
Red Hawk. Vanessa Kitty is out there. She said, I like double action revolvers. And Ozzy has an Uberti in 45 Colts.
Mildly jelly.
Vanessa said one of my Smith & Wesson 639s had a Picatinny rail above and below the barrel. So we'll give the chat just a couple more moments. Looks like the Marlin might be moving on. It's winning so far.
Oof. I mean, at the end of the day, neither one of these is a bad choice.
So we'll go ahead and end that. So the chat picked the Marlin. And I am going to pick the Marlin. So Marlin's going to move on.
I just realized, like, you could just tell me that the chat picked whatever and be breaking this the whole time, and you could just have the entire chat revolting right now and ready to riot, and I have no idea.
Well, I have integrity, so I would never do that. So now we've got the Smith & Wesson Model 29 versus the Colt Anaconda. Poll is up. Vanessa Kitty said 629 with 8 3/8 barrel, full lug, unfluted cylinders are nice.
Very nice.
So are you going to go 29 or Anaconda?
Honestly, this one isn't even competition for me. If both of these were sitting on a counter and somebody said pick one, didn't have to pay for it or anything. It was a gift, just here you go. But I could only choose one. Whether they were both original models or modern day models, going with the 29.
The 29. So the 29 is winning out in the chat. We'll give it a few more moments. But yeah, I like that look of the 29 and the similar look of the Highway Patrolman. Kind of a classic Smith & Wesson look.
Mm-hmm. Would love to get a Ruger Alaskan in 44 mag.
I would want the Ruger Alaskan in 454 Casull. So we'll go ahead and end the poll, and the 29 won in the chat. And I'm gonna go 29, model 29. I mean, I love the anacondas. Anacondas are beautiful guns, but I don't know, the 29 is just so iconic.
Yep.
I think I have to go with it. Vanessa Kitty said no Coonan in the poll. I could share mine. Send in a picture. I'll show it when we're done with the poll. On tacticalfaucet@gmail.com. So now we've got the single action army. Start the poll. Single action army against the Marlin 1894. There we go. So the poll is up. What's going for?
Never heard of a Marlin Peacemaker. Got to go with a single action army.
Single action army. Oh, it's a tight race out there. It's back and forth. It's tied right now. Ooh. Yep. Oh. The single action army has pulled slightly ahead. Vanessa Kitty's. Oh, you got to wait for her to chat to pop up here. There it is. I like some Marlin rifles, but don't know that one. I was looking at that one mostly for the price point. It was the caliber that I wanted, and for a price that was okay, because I would prefer like the stainless one. I forget the name of it. Scout or something like that. But those were more expensive. What I would love is the Smith & Wesson with the Woodstock. is gorgeous, but way overpriced. I think they're like $2,000 or something.
Why'd they put that little yellow bird on a Smith & Wesson?
Ooh. So we'll give it just a few more moments for the chat poll. The Single Action Army has pulled ahead.
Really? I almost expected the Marlin to take the poll.
Well, Marlin did start out with the lead, and then the Single Action kind of pulled it out in the end there. So we'll
It'd
go
be
ahead and
great
end that.
if you found out that like there's one person out there with like 6 accounts purposely just messing with the poll.
I don't think there's anyone that would spend the time or effort to do that for this chat. I'm going to go Single Action Army. I really do want that Marlin, but can't vote against the Single Action Army.
At the end of the day, what I really want is an original Single Action Army. Yeah, something pre-1900s.
So now we've got the Smith & Wesson Model 29 up against a Single Action Army for the final. The poll is up. What do you think?
I don't know. This this is exactly what this final should be, I think. That being said, I really wasn't prepared for this. I feel like without the Model 29 and Dirty Harry, 44 mag dies. Same time. You know, how long does it take to get a good quality handgun like the Single Action Army if Colt doesn't make it in 1853? So I'm going to go with Single Action Army. Oh,
Army. Oh, the vote is pretty tight
I bet it is.
out there. Right now, the Single Action Army squeaked ahead.
Ugh.
We'll give it just a little bit longer. Vanessa Kitty said she was issued a Model 29 in the Air Force.
Really?
Veterinary techs got to use it for large farm.
Makes sense.
That's kind of surprising. The other revolver that they're issuing was a 38 Special.
I'm just curious why the Air Force had vet techs.
I don't know. For the petting farm?
It sounds like a Diddy party.
So we'll give it just a few more moments. And then I'm going to end the poll out there in the chat. All right. Close that poll out. The Single Action Army won that. Which did you vote?
Single Action Army.
Single Action Army. So the Single Action Army is going to win no matter what I vote. That's kind of a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if somebody had one of each and said, "Here, choose one," I don't know which one I would choose.
Ooh. You put it like that. So if somebody, all right. So somebody puts down an original Model 29 on the counter, and then somebody puts down a modern production Colt Single Action Army. Are you still unable to choose with those options?
It wouldn't make a difference to me if it was an original
No.
model or not. It's cool, if it's an older model, but it doesn't make a huge difference for me because you look at this one from 10 years ago and this one from today, they look the same. I understand there's I just used 10 because that came to mind, but an older gun, if there's no change, there's no difference to me. If it was somebody famous, it was their gun or had some history to it, maybe. But just the fact that it's an older one, doesn't make a difference to me.
So I really don't want any Model 29s after the Dash 3s because the barrels weren't pinned anymore.
It might. If somebody said, "Here's a Model 29, here's a Single Action Army," and the Single Action Army has true case hardening.
Ooh.
That might swing it towards a single action. But I don't know. Well, I'll go ahead and push the single action through because that's going to win. But
See, I appreciate that you're as tore up over this as I was.
I'm actually leaning towards the 29.
I don't blame you. I thought about changing my vote on this one.
I'll go ahead and I'll say 29. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But just so that I have registered a vote, I'll say the 29. But it's a coin toss. Coin toss. Yeah, Ron said he's tired. I think everybody's tired today. So the Single Action Army has won the best 44 caliber firearm poll. Next week is number 45, so it's a 45.
Oh. Nice.
So thank you to everybody who participated. Oh, well, Mr. Barbecue, Is there anything you have coming up? Anything you want to let everybody know about?
No, I've been insanely busy. Chat on Thursday, most likely. That's about it. Life's just busy, so appreciate the invite. Thanks for hosting, all that good stuff. Super awesome bracket. This was a blast. So yeah.
I put out a short today. It was Defense Against Ninja Training, a short. There's a short coming out on Monday. And next chat will be next week, next Saturday. If you watch this replay, leave a comment. Anything we talked about, agree with, disagree with? Have you been to prison? What's your thought on prison? And I think other than that, I hope everybody has a good rest of the night and go do something.